Hi guys, welcome back to my study live stream. Today is 2023 September 4th. Now the time is 22 o'clock 7. I opened study live stream last minute, so we're gonna begin for today's night study session. What I need to do is finish the seminar arbeit. So I just wrote one paragraph today at the university, so I need to do at least 2 pages for today, if it is possible. So we're gonna prepare a little bit and start make a cup of coffee, and then yeah, okay, let's do it. But like in a very fast fashion, and not just slow down every process. And I wrote one paragraph, and as usual, that's very boring and does not carry on much content within it. Today, my task is to discuss what the national identity is towards the elite, and from their point of view, to make some judgment about how to from those persons' background knowledge, and to gain their national identity within their neighborhood countries and so on. So let's first make coffee. So it is kind of like in German to say vorspielen, but I would treat this study lecture more seriously as I could be, right? I just finished it. Usually I need for a long time to finish night meal. Please ignore if my water can is very dirty and I need to wash it, but I don't want to. So if there is no extra judgment, so I do not need to behave in this way. Okay. If we think about from the question why at all that in this country which I currently examine that exists this kind of group like be determined by um, excellent person group and so on. So if you compare to some European or USA or some Western country, absolutely they are not comparable with each other, but they are sharing some common characteristics or to say some entities. But I would rather in this state not to say that entities instead of them to say their characteristics towards one issue. For example, like national identity will have this kind of feeling like defense on the country they are belonging to, and defense on the person who give the bad judgment towards them and towards their country, and this kind of defending attitude made me think of like their character growing and this kind of good feelings and so on. But yeah, but I should find more literature to support the view. But I don't want to cope that in the German history, like you say, national identity, and then you easily think of some national defense person group that they are holding their traditional point of view very fixed and very hard to change and so on, and always think their countries the best and do not accept other countries' culture. That's kind of a simple perspective which we can think of. I Yeah, absolutely, but I don't think it's very much enough to have a scientific paper. So I will find more support for you to write a seminar arbeit. Although that I don't think that the pressure that comes from the recent society level, especially in the context of Germany, that they put this kind of nationalist, a very extreme political uh, pattern or whatever you want to call it. But I don't want to link with any this kind of political perspective instead of only talking the point of view which observed by the elite in this kind of country which I currently write. And yeah, so we're gonna have this coffee. I will take some milk which I bought today fresh, and I think the one uh, cannot be drink anymore. So have some milk. I I do. Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about it later. Like some point of view about what I found today and so on. Okay. I got this milk and forgot to drink it. And this is a timer for 5 minutes. Interesting. Okay, I will be quick and fast in the study live stream. One, for example, now I finally can have some time study for myself instead of just randomly run time in my study live stream. So I got this laser Brille. Is the glass which helps you read, but I don't think it works because because it is only 1.5. So I have at least whatever. I don't know. I don't know, but it's maybe helpful. Okay, now it's almost 15 minutes since we start the study live stream. I still in preparation period. It's very slowly, and I just don't know why it come to this round that is so slowed down recently. But feel pleasure that I got finally peaceful moment. So actually can work something for myself instead of just running a mind with some great person and so on. Okay, as usual, we open our first VPN and from university and try to write at least two sides, okay? Two side, okay, two side or three side. To clarify today's mixed point of view, although today I got very much good literature which pushed to me to explain this kind of to show this kind of issue in national identity, and as you I think that the one will understand will know it as whether someone characteristic will be recognized and so on, but national identity is something else. Yeah, the reason why I want to put that into my structure outline is mostly because that I don't always think that they do have the conscious to even in some elite group within this country or in this country, that they at all have some conscious about their national identity. Absolutely, everyone has passport. You want to go to board and to have to visit another country and so on. But I don't think this kind of national identity, even they stay in their own country and to have the perspective which they are proud of, actually to show others that they absolutely have something to show, and this kind of feeling I want to write my article because I think that's so essential to let to let others know that even that is not very much uh, economic equipped country like in West Europe, West Europe, but still that they have something in their tradition um, to as wills to be defined. That's my one country to be proud of, and so on. And it is also very important when we talk the topic in cooperation and how to do not lose their tradition or keep their tradition while cooperating with others, and do not always try to cope others' needs or cope others' requirements instead of to keep their own. That's the point which I want to mention actually in my seminar. So we're gonna see where I can have some perspective in this kind of area or not. So yeah, we talk less and directly start and find some wood white noise. Let's find this one. Somehow I feel like this topic is very sensible. I try to avoid this kind of perspective, which brings one thing too much. I find a little bit boring. The reason is that recently I connected this researcher that he always push this kind of linkage, like some triangulized ends to hide their um, interest, or to say the research interest based in their institution within the articles and the process which he met or he could help. And to here, and the logic was very simple. It is just like a triangle, and to link with those kind of minds and combine them and so on does not make much sense, because the area which he examined is a little bit interdisciplinary. Why, I actually do not know, because he measures the area which very much similar as a neighbor previously in the student apartment. I don't have that much contact with that person, but we all based in the same city, and I don't we don't know each other very well, but we at least we attended one lecture previously. But I don't want to know him actually, because that's not brings any value. And currently, I was thinking about why at all he pushes this kind of mind question towards me, and somehow it's very strange, because his logic is based on a, a professor, a eco professor based in NV University, and I I find this kind of difficult, because the research style is kind of differently, and they are tending somehow the relaxed way and the freely way, um, more than a student who best in free. And I absolutely like that style, because that is so relaxed and do not have that much pressure actually from his point of view. Um, but But since I read a little bit the article which I found to explain this definition, but I found the first article is kind of Weganweisung auf der Bewerbung auf in seine Universität in einer anderen Stadt. Ähm, Persönlich mag ich das natürlich, weil der versteckt roten Faden natürlich ist mehr oder weniger interessanter, als die man als in der Kontext eingeben oder angeben sozusagen. Aber das Problem ist today I found one article that is about to explain what's actually the view of elite in the country, which I currently write towards national identity. But I found like one article recently published in VZB. VZB is a research institute who only focus on Sozialforschung, the research work in the social area, and much more relevant. But should I actually to have a reference view about the first article, like the impact of local protests on political elite communication, 2023. And I remembered yesterday when I opened the Google search engine, and one high economist that he revised an article which be named as protest. Actually, this very much influences on me, but I don't know why. I don't know why. From my point of view, I don't like, for example, a very famous and best in a very top U.S. College economist and temporarily and suddenly and redirect you, not from his side, from some other site that redirect you to some local research institute or instance. And the very first article is that the same actually, but one is more specific and another one is more general. And it's so complicated, I guess. So we're gonna have a little break, or we can also continue. I don't feel somehow tired, but I should think this out. Okay. Somehow I don't like the way he questioning a simple triangle and best in the biggie who in USA, and because they are one circle young economists. And so previously 2 years were against each other that much, and but since we connect since February, things not change, but from my point of view, getting worse, because I lost very important letters from university, and this kind of all things come together. Yeah, let's see the first one. I don't like the way he pushes the article towards me. And first, he must throw a Korean immigration professor based in Yale University. Secondly, and the first step will skip the influence of Yale professor, which my favorite professor already retired from university. And the second one is that he will link me to some seems like official journal, like red marked, red bannered journal, and to make that second pushment of this kind of article more official. And then I was suddenly stopped because some small perspective that I cannot tolerate with, because he knows more this kind of aspects which I hate from. That's why that's why I will jump out from the second step of the article, but I will directly in the mind be be redirected to some German-based institute who work on those kind of social or economic issues or area. So the third one, this all serves for his own interests. The reason is that recently I saw that he published an article, although in his own university, but be numbered very forbidden area of myself. So I try to avoid those kind of numbers, do not get into that sad circle. But he will the third step, and yeah, one group only has 3 members, so I am that. I am the first one, right? So it's quite difficult, because today when I open the first one, actually this article is exposure of this researcher, and absolutely from this point of view, I know, oh, the article from the very first step was not directly at very beginning directly pushed me by this researcher instead of from the one he chose from, but betrayed because they do not align with each other's interests. Why? The reason is why a university based in a German-speaking country and very much different than the country who is than the university who based in USA. Absolutely, they have different educational system and every beliefs and so on are so different. Why should they share the same interests? Unless that interest is commonly that will be accepted by everyone and be needed by everyone. So we know what actually that called, but I don't think that's the main, not the main drive by everyone. So the problem is here why afterwards and after the first step of exposure, and well, in the third step just research back or jump back to the first step. So then we can determine, okay, that's the single logic of one study live stream based in another platform, Bilibili. And she used that logic, like when you open a Google search engine, you just directly enter into the third article, then should be right. So here is another question, like they are cooperated with each other somehow in what kind of extent, I do not know. But the problem is here, why why this person or the students who based in 2M or based in a university near Munich, and why at all she will be aligned the interest with this kind of researcher. Because I guess last week I saw that their profile for pictures are combined together and means that um, they have more or less the facility which I can think of, um, that that their reality do not align that much of their profile photo which they show. Okay, so from this point of view, how can I just jump into this topic and find some articles like to directly solve this issue, like very rooted issue. And the first step will go back to the university's website near Munich, and to say to see uh, to see how can I, at least in the very urgent time, to deal with this kind of issue, like like for example, I open again the Google search engine and search randomly anything and jump into the fourth article. So why at all they have so many things to share and to so I don't know. I think it's quite strange, and I think the problematic need be think of. And um yeah, and I don't okay, let's just Okay, and another remain question that is like why we must observe this issue from an elite view instead of from normal person's view or just random person which lives in the society which this country located in. Why can't we not just observe it as in this way, and why we should observe them in a point of view of as whether from an elite view, and so yeah. 我觉得就是有点 disappointing，因为我目前看这篇文章，然后它讲的是 impact of local protests on political elites communication evidence from Friday for Future in Germany。我就是觉得就是 protest 是一个非常 key 的，最近来说啊，最近目前来说算是一个 keywords，但是有一个问题是它这个 protest 呢，它是不是 under the context of Friday for Future is the Hong Kong against some of the political authoritarian 而推出的一种行为，推出的一种行动，然后他还说的是 Hong Kong，然后 instead of Friday for Future for some environmental issues. So from my point of view, I don't think that's really satisfying my interest, and I feel a little bit disappointing to see this state like Friday for Future is an environmental protest, and why then need some political elites instead of the elites in general area? So I don't think it's really somehow a justice. Even that is in the Taylor Francis group and like a very peer-reviewed journal, but I don't think it's really somehow non-disappointing. So yeah, let's quick find another relevant area of my current seminar, but I don't know why it's like some auto program, like automatic some mind process. When you think of something, then certainly something will happen. It's kind of simple logic, but it's a little bit difficult. And yeah. Okay, we're gonna have a little break, and I random sleep a little bit and come back and watch the several articles from Nature, and especially the 1st of September, they published a lot of articles in every area. And one I only interested from that much interest relevant is that the evidence in China, which they are for some use some basic measurements, like basic like use some basic statistic knowledge as background to examine this issue somehow, and that's very much interesting. And otherwise, I will stop in this sense, and I could open that few hours later. So see you guys then. Bye. Have a good night.